जय हिंद फ्रेंड्स, मैं ग्रुप कैप्टन ए के श्रीवास्तव। I wish you the best of luck for your preparations for SSBs. You are watching my YouTube channel. On this channel, I have posted about 20 videos. And these videos, though they had limited reach so far, but have been found by any serious SSB aspirant very valuable. Friends, today we are going to talk something about one phrase, you may say, which has been very, I would say more than often, it has been used in SSB training. Friends, आज हम एक ऐसी चीज के बारे में बात करेंगे जिसका SSB ट्रेनिंग में बहुत ज्यादा ही उपयोग हुआ है, और वो शब्द है, वो जुमला है, वो फ्रेज है पॉजिटिव अप्रोच। मेरा ख्याल है कि मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर्स की बात अगर सबसे ज्यादा इसका इस्तेमाल हुआ है पॉजिटिव अप्रोच का, इस फ्रेज का, तो वो है SSB ट्रेनिंग। Friends, we will talk about the positive approach. What does it mean? What is its concept? What is its applicability in SSBs? And what are its, the concepts which are a little distorted? And before we come on to that, I'll request you, if you have not subscribed my channel so far, subscribe it, watch a few videos, give your likings, give your comments, ask your questions in case you feel that something more is to be clarified or left to be clarified, and share it. Another thing is, friends, that I provide online guidance in Psych Technique, and also I provide dossier assessment and counseling. Numbers are mentioned there almost at the bottom of every slide. Note down these numbers and do contact me. With this background, friends, let's start. टॉपिक क्या है आज का? टॉपिक है द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पॉजिटिविटी, particularly in TAT, thematic apperception test. And thematic apperception test is the most potent test, the strongest test in the psych test battery. I have interacted with many 100 people who have approached me for their dossier assessment. And when I ask about a clarification, why have you chosen this particular task and why not this? During the free interaction, or should I say the counseling sessions, so the candidates asked me, sir, will it not be negative if I give this particular task? तो फ्रेंड्स, मुझे लगता है कि ये जो वर्ड पॉजिटिव या पॉजिटिव अप्रोच है, इसके बारे में बहुत लोगों को बहुत सारी भ्रांतियां हैं. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज पॉजिटिव अप्रोच एंड व्हाट शुड बी द पॉजिटिव अप्रोच. इसके बारे में बहुत कंफ्यूजन है, और सबसे ज्यादा इसका असर पड़ता है जब आप अपनी स्टोरीज की थीम बनाते हैं, यानी जब आप अपने हीरो को एक टास्क देते हैं. सिलेक्शन ऑफ टास्क इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. मैं आपको बता दूं, कहीं भी अभी SSB या TAT की बात छोड़ दें, जब आप एकेडमीज में जाएंगे आफ्टर योर सिलेक्शन, एंड आई विश ऑल माय व्यूअर्स, all my students the success, so that they could join any academy, maybe NDA, maybe IMA, Air Force Academy, Indian Naval Academy, or whatever is there. जब आप एकेडमीज ज्वाइन करेंगे तो आपको एसेंशियली एक चैप्टर पढ़ने को मिलता है वॉर साइंसेज में, प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ वॉर. When my generation was cadet, At that time, there were 10 principles of war, and still majority of the academies, they are teaching them the 10 principles of war. In some academies, 11th principle also has been included anyway. उनको छोड़ते हैं. Important is not 10 or 11 principles. Important क्या है? The first principle is the cardinal principle, and that is selection and maintenance of aim. कोई भी काम आप करें war में primarily, but even otherwise, what you have to achieve, what you want to achieve, what you wish to gain out of certain efforts, certain planning, it must be very, very clear. जहां ये नहीं पता चलता है कि आपको अचीव क्या करना है, वहां पर कंफ्यूजन होता है. Not only you get confused about what is to be obtained out of the whole exercise, but many a time you are obtained about the methodology, the strategy and resources also. And therefore, friends, it is of utmost importance that you select the aim, and here in the context of psychological tests and TAT, it is the task that you have to give to the hero. Friends, those people who have taken guidance from me, they'll bear out, वो इस बात से convinced हैं कि every TAT story is, or it should be, the story of a mission accomplishment. There has to be a task, well-defined task. लेकिन जब मैं डॉजियर्स आपके देखता हूं तो मुझे एक चीज के बारे में बहुत ज्यादा तकलीफ होती है, वो ये है कि किस तरीके का टास्क आप अपने हीरो को देते हैं, उसके बारे में बहुत ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन है. सो आज हम बात करेंगे किस तरीके का टास्क आप अपने हीरो को देंगे, लेकिन उसमें जो कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पॉजिटिविटी है वो किस तरीके से, आपका कॉन्सेप्ट, जो कॉन्सेप्ट लोगों में फैला दिया गया है, वो सिलेक्शन ऑफ टास्क में कितना इन्फ्लुएंस करता है, कितना इंटरफेयर करता है, जानना वो जरूरी है. माय यंग फ्रेंड्स, रिमेंबर that we are born and brought up in some particular time. The life is full of challenges, difficulties, threats, risks, problems, the chances of success and failures. It's a fact. This difficulty, challenge, risk, or failures, they are the part of the individual's life, and they are the part of the national or the community life. Life is not a unipolar world. यहाँ सक्सेस भी है, फेलियर भी है, ईज भी है, डिफिकल्टीज भी है. ये लाइफ का फैक्ट है. इस फैक्ट को कोई डिनाई नहीं कर सकता. इट मे बी पॉजिटिव, इट मे बी नेगेटिव, बट अ फैक्ट इज अ फैक्ट. कॉल स्पेड अ स्पेड. दूसरी चीज हम सभी को ध्यान रखना है, व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ द आर्म फोर्सेस. The armed forces fight the negativity, fight the crisis, fight the dangers, fight the risk that comes to a state and society. So, not only the selection methodology, but even otherwise, it is recognized, very widely accepted and recognized, that the armed forces, they have to fight the threat, risk, and the threat and risk to the country and the society of the highest level. Then you also must remember that the SSB, they select you on solely one criterion, and that is you should be having those raw abilities or faculties or merits and the skills with which you can perform your role as an officer. And the primary role of an officer is the combat role, the war role. Yes, I admit, मैं इस बात को स्वीकार करता हूं कि we are not looking in you a finished and a ready-made soldier. We are looking in you a person who's having those raw faculties. आप में होने चाहिए, बेसिक चीजें होनी चाहिए. We will convert you, armed forces will convert you into a soldier, provided you have got those raw material. देखने की बात है कि हम आपकी एबिलिटी टू डील विद क्राइसिस, द सिलेक्शन बोर्ड्स आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, हाउ डू दे टेस्ट? ध्यान रखिए, हमारे रिस्पॉन्सेस या whichever way we process the situations that are presented to us, they reflect our personality of a crisis leader. So your ability to handle the crisis is reflected in two things. One, in your perceptions, in your conclusions, the way you analyze the given situation, and then how we react to them, how we show our preparedness and abilities to deal with them. Selection boards, they follow certain techniques, like you know it. मैं कोई पहली बार नहीं बता रहा हूं, ना आपको ही ये पहली बार ये पता चल रहा होगा कि we have got psychological technique, we have got interview, and we have got the group testing technique. इन सारी टेक्निक्स में आपको ऐसी सिचुएशंस दी जाती हैं जिसमें कुछ क्राइसिस हो, कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो, कुछ स्ट्रेस हो, डिफिकल्टीज हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ग्रुप टेस्टिंग टेक्निक, it has got one particular part called GPE or group planning exercise. अगर आप पहले जा चुके हैं सिलेक्शन बोर्ड्स में या आपने कहीं किसी क्वालिफाइड जीटीओ से इसके बारे में कुछ नॉलेज, इंफॉर्मेशन, ट्रेनिंग हासिल की है, आप देखेंगे कि ग्रुप प्लानिंग एक्सरसाइज में इट इज फुल ऑफ स्ट्रेस प्रॉब्लम्स, लाइक देयर इज सम बॉम्ब which is planted on a railway track. There is a village in which the well, the source of water is poisoned. Maybe somebody who's holding an important position in the administrative machinery has been abducted. Bagara, bagara. So group planning exercise is full of the problems and the difficulties and the stress and the emergencies. इंटरव्यू टेक्निक पे आते हैं. Many a time the interviewing officer also asks you to assume yourself in the situations wherein there is an emergency, there is difficulty, there is a problem, or for that matter, he asks you, suppose you have failed in your pursuit. So much so that many a time he asks you, if you are not selected this time, what are your options? Okay. We simulate such situations for you in the SSBs. We ask you to assume yourself in those difficult situations. Or, coming to my technique, the psychological technique. So friends, in the situation reaction test, if you see, all the 60 situations, they have got some problem, some stumbling block, some haze, some failure. All the 60 situations, they are having one or the other problems or difficulties or the stressful things. Why we put you in the state of stress? Why we simulate the stress? It is because we aim to find your reaction while you are facing the stress. This is in direct alignment with the job profile of an officer. But what happens that in the TAT, thematic apperception test, when you are selecting a task for the hero, a mission for the hero, or what is the theme of your stories, there we find that you are mostly selecting the tasks which are organizing something like picnic, something which is simple, common, and you do not assume the difficulties in the task because you have been told that difficulties or the stress is negative. Now here the point is to remember that in the group testing technique and in the situation reaction technique, or for that matter, interview, here the difficulties presented to you, they give you, the assessors, they give you. But in the thematic apperception test, other than a picture, nothing is presented to you. You imagine. You imagine the task for the hero, and you also imagine the way the task is going to be accomplished. We don't give you anything. You have to imagine. Everything, the hero is to be imagined by you. The task is to be imagined by you. The process of task achievement is to be imagined by you. And all these things you present in the form of a story. The psychologist does not force you to make somebody as a hero and ask you that hero is to be given this type of a task. Here, everything is to be imagined by the candidate only. Friends, we all have got a desire to be acceptable to the society. We would like to bring out our own qualities, those qualities which are our strongholds, the qualities which become our signature identity, Like a singer would like to present his singing acumen. A lawyer would like to convince others about his knowledge on the legal matters. A doctor would like to convince others or to be recognized for his qualities of knowing the human health. Everyone wants to be wanted, loves to be loved. And people will love you, people will want you, people will miss you for your qualities. So it's a natural tendency. So if you have got the qualities of a leader of crisis situation, definitely you will assume the situation of crisis and you will propose how you are going to solve that, how you are going to overcome. Remember, the crisis or difficulties are not only going to be imagined for the sake of the situation, but you will propose how your hero has come out of that, how your hero has commanded the situation. And everything is to be imagined by you. So I really fail to understand when I say that the task has to be difficult and challenging, why you people feel it is negative. See, all the OLQs, all the qualities, they are situational qualities. For example, unless there is a danger, how your qualities of courage will come out. देखो, इस बात को ध्यान रखिएगा कि जब तक एक डिफिकल्टी नहीं होगी, तब तक उस डिफिकल्टी को सॉल्व करने की एबिलिटी का प्रदर्शन आप नहीं कर पाएंगे. और यहीं पर मैं देखता हूं, जब मैं डॉजियर असेसमेंट करता हूं, तो मैं देखता हूं कि the people who have approached me, those students, those aspirants, they hate or hesitate both to imagine the stress, difficulties, problems in the okay, in the stories, because somebody has told them it is negative. Please remember that you sometimes go into a state of denial. Okay, there's no negativity. For example, if a person appears from all the possible clues, if a person appears dead, people think that, well, he's not dead. Actually, there is a drama which is going on, and the person is only acting as dead. You deny. There are a few pictures in which obviously the person seems to be in a state of panic. See the actions, see the facial expressions. But you don't take it. If there is a picture in which somebody is being rescued, you take it that, well, it is the practice of running. You go on a denial mode, and the cause of this denial is somebody's instructions and injunctions that you should not see something which is negative. So friends, let us rehash our concept of what is positive and what is negative. See, in the Psych Technique also, in the TAT, the psychologist is very critically looking for your abilities to handle the crisis or the stress, and for that, he gives you 3 types of pictures. And you can judge these 3 types of pictures by the facial expression of the human characters, that is 1. Actions of the human characters, that is number 2. And the environment or the things, the layout of the things in the environment. If you use these 3 parameters to assess the type of situations, you will find there are 3 types of pictures projected by the psychologist. One is the neutral or the stress-free type. You'll find everything is lying, with ease and happiness. Environment is very calm, cozy, without any show of any disturbance. Yes. But such type of pictures out of 11 to be projected by the psychologist, they are just 3 or 4 in number. Remaining pictures, about 6 to 7, they are either suggesting stress or on a direct stress. Suggesting stress means if you see the facial expression, the emotions and the actions of the people, it suggests something. Fear, panic, right? Pain, anguish, extra curiosity. These things you can find on the faces. Sometimes a person looks downcast, exhausted. Sorry, I'm not giving you the examples of the pictures. I am very candidly admitting that I don't have such pictures of my, of my own creation, should I say. And these pictures, they have been given to me by those people who have sought their dossiers to be assessed, and they had given me the pictures. So I'm not using those pictures because it could amount to violation of some copyright. And that is why I'm only giving you the hint. You can yourself relate these things with the pictures that you must have been practicing, which are available, either in some books or given to you by some other, maybe the mentor. But you will find that there are pictures which are either suggesting stress or they are on direct stress. Now, what is the difference between suggesting stress on direct stress? In the direct stress type of pictures, the cause of the stress is also seen in the picture itself, projected picture. Let us say somebody is drowning. Let us say there is a scene of fire. A ship may be capsizing. A person threatening another person at knife point. So such types of pictures, they are suggesting what is the cause of this stress. But The challenge comes in perceiving or judging the pictures which have got only suggestion of stress. Now, you can make the stories of long-term basis, no emergency, planning, organizing, social or educational, when the picture is neutral or stress-free. But if you make the short-term stories which is on urgent and difficult themes, or some kind of challenges or difficulties, okay, from these two, that is suggesting stress and direct stress type of pictures, your ability to handle the stress and difficulties will automatically be reflected in the stories. But what happens? We are taking only half truth, that is, some difficulty is negative. We are not imagining difficulties or problems for the sake of imagination. We are imagining these things in TAT so that your reaction or your ability to command those situations, to surmount those difficulties and the problems could come out. Okay. What happens when you are over obsessed by this positivity? Okay. Then, well, if majority of your stories, if the trend of the stories is on something simple, goody-goody, organizing some fun picnic entertainment, then the psychologist might take you for a fair weather sailor. That means you are denying to sail when the sea is rough. That means you cannot be trusted to manage the situation of difficulties, right? Sometimes you deny, let us say, a group of soldiers climbing uphill with all the war pack, then you say they are going for some practice. This is exercise. Sorry, sir. If you are understanding this as a part of exercise, in the exercise, there is no enemy. There's only virtual enemy who doesn't fire, doesn't retaliate. So you become over obsessed with positivity and you go in denial mode, and ultimately the psychologist concludes about you that you are a fair weather sailor. Friends, एक और बात मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा, and that is, some 50-year-old, I recall, this is incident of some 50 years old, somebody in my school had come and he has covered something called as the positive approach, and for the first time I heard what is positivity and negativity in terms of a glass. This is syndrome, half filled or half empty. So if you see a glass half filled, then you are a person with the positive approach, and if you see it's half empty, then you are a person with negative attitude. Fine. It has got its own reference and context. But there are many professions and the fields wherein you have to see what is wrong, what is empty. A doctor, when he examines you, you go to the doctor. Why? When you see that there's something wrong, something which is not right. So please try to understand the whole thing, okay, in perspective. Everything cannot be right only. You have to, there are so many agencies which are bent to handle that negativity, that what could be wrong. When army goes in a convoy, let me tell you, let's say if it is going to cover some 200 kilometers, you know that every inch is mapped for the landmines. कि कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि टेररिस्ट ने वहां पर माइंस लगा दी हो एम्बुश करने के लिए. Being cautious is not negativity. You must have seen बसों में फर्स्ट एड बॉक्स रहते हैं. क्यों रहते हैं? क्योंकि there is a possibility that the bus could meet with an accident. Some people might be injured. अब आप कहेंगे इंजरी का thought is negative. See, being cautious and anticipating something which is difficult or problematic is not negativity. Being prepared for negativity is the positivity of highest order. So friends, in TAT stories, you pick up a task which is not simple. You should not pick up a task which is simple, which is easy. You must pick up the task which is realistic, and it should be having the realistic difficulties, problems, chances of success and failure, so that you show your ability to manage these things. I hope you got my point. Friends, आज के लिए इतना ही. And once again, I request you to like, subscribe, and share my channel's information. The numbers are mentioned here. You can take a screenshot and you could approach me for online courses and dossier assessment. I close this video. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.